What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Lost Records Journal, Player One vs. World's Lost Records Focus podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adnan, my co-host, The Shadow,
Mm.
Adam Evalt. You here?
I am here. Somebody seemed to rob my place. It was me. I'm moving.
Indeed. Yes,
Yes.
you are moving. You will. So for context, guys, as well, I know this episode will be delayed. My schedule's manic. Adam's schedule's manic. Adam is moving. Next time you'll see him, he'll be
Cross country,
hopefully
mind you.
in a building as well. That's like, I'm hoping that something doesn't happen there. You end up in like a cardboard box, and I'm like, come on, Adam. Like
Yes.
the change of scenery did not go as well. But no, Adam is moving to across away from where he wants to be, and I've got a busy schedule, and there'll be videos coming in between this period where it's been StrangeCast and whatnot. So apologies about that, because obviously we want to talk about Lost Records, but it's just been a bit of a kerfuffle period. So this episode has been pre-recorded. It's been pre-recorded on the 22nd of March,
I
and
want
we've
to tell you
talked about
something.
many things. Oh, what's he
Sorry.
talking about now?
I want to say, like, my move to put you in perspective is more of a drive than for where you to go and to move to Berlin. It's farther of a drive.
That's crazy.
That's how big America is, dude. Like, I'm moving halfway across the country, and it's a longer drive for you to Berlin.
It's just constant. Like I'll be driving through at least 3 or 4 countries, maybe, like 2 or 3. I'll be
Let's
driving through
see.
France, and
So,
then
yeah, you be driving a long time. I feel
yeah.
like, God, dude. Okay, let's one more thing. I want to see. I'm just curious at this point. Uh, it will be you driving from where you are, just about a little bit farther, just a little bit. It'll be you moving from where you are to Warsaw, Poland.
Jesus, wow! So I'll be like literally moving to the Eastern Europe. Wow,
That's what I mean. Like,
Uh,
that's how far I'm moving.
that's why you guys are waiting for podcast, because we're not hearing from him for a long time. So yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Bit of context. But yeah, just to give you context, it is being recorded on the 22nd of March, so that'll be it. If anything breaks in between this period, and hopefully, hopefully nothing ages like milk, because usually things do. You'll get what we're talking about here, which is mainly going to be about theory and other things as well. So before we start as well, if you are new here, Judge Riaz commands you like this video, like it. Otherwise, the abyss is going to be sent. You're going to be sent straight down the abyss. So, like the video, share your friends, subscribe. We're almost at 1,700 subscribers, so anything you can do can help us. And also, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So, we're on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts. We're available on everything. We have 25 5-star ratings, which is amazing, and obviously 92 followers on the Lost Records Journal. It actually went up, Adam, though, because we were at
Oh,
4.9 at like 19, and it has now gone back up to 5, which is amazing. So, thank you so much for that. Obviously, the haters have lost, and I've sentenced them to the abyss for
the
that.
haters will always lose the in the comment section. Oh my God, every time.
Oh god, there's always someone trying to buy it as well. There's always someone, but yeah, Adam, we only have one thing we're going to be talking about here, and it comes from one of our listeners, someone who commented on the video, which is quite nice. I
Mm.
think it's a good topic to talk about. So, as I said, nothing. We had like 1 or 2 little pieces of news, but we scrapped them because there's more. It's a bit non-relevant, and the game has gone quiet for the time period. But Adam, should we go into our piece of news, if anything, for our main topic? Actually,
Absolutely.
yes. So basically, it's a discussion video and a theory video about the masked individual from tape
Mm.
1. And as I've said this before, spoiler alert, you're coming to Lost Records Journal. You we don't do we do spoilers and everything. So go and play the game before you listen to it. So this came from a comment which was called a YouTube user called Heaventide, and they said, eating up your Lost Records videos while we wait for tape 2. Thank you so much. Could you please make a theory video about what or who the wolf mask in the flashback right at the
Mm.
start of the game? I'm curious, but hardly anyone has talked about it. So thank you for the comment, and hopefully no one has talked about it since we're,
Yes.
we're making this video. But Adam, for refresher, and you'll know this anyway, but I thought I'd just bring it up, and for also the people who are on the video version, and we'll explain it there, as you can see. This is the
Mm.
moment this person is referring to. So this is early in tape 1 in the video. Ignore my other videos. I'm watching all kinds of things. And if you
Yes.
want recommendation, that Chloe Morondo song is amazing. Um, in this part of the video, we see it early in the game. This is when Swann is about to meet Autumn. She's going to head into the Blue Spruce. Right at the beginning of the game, there's a flashback, and pre before this scene, you start seeing the girls being chased. I think Kat is in this sequence before. I think we were playing it before. I might actually try and play. Actually, I'll play it whilst we're here because we might
Mm.
as well. So you can see here, it's like a little bit of flashbacks, boots, the girls are running. I can see Cat there. I think I saw Cat there. And obviously you see this, which is the Wolfman, as we're now dubbing him. And the boots, I think the boots are pretty much clear as it is. So
Mm.
that's the theory. This is the conversation, and I think there was Cat there. There's a couple of characters. Oh, it's interesting to see who's actually there. So that's the sequence, and the theory video is about who that person is or what it is. I'm going to put it out there very quickly. I think that's Corey.
Yeah. I think it's because with the hair too, like you can see
Yeah,
the hair behind the mask, so it's definitely not Luke or Michelle because the person has hair. It's not me because the person has hair. Um, so it's either gonna be Corey or Meatloaf.
I thought Meatloaf's dead.
Well, not in the 90s. 90s, he was fine,
Oh,
Which,
well,
by
there
the
you go.
way, today George Foreman died.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Rest in peace. I loved my burgers like that, but
Lean,
um,
mean grilling machine. Rest in peace.
yeah,
Yeah, he had an incredible. He had an incredible life. You ever go and read up on him? Like, it's more than just the boxing. Like, all his stuff that happened to him is
yeah.
quite remarkable of like a life he lived. Do you know all of his sons are called George? He has five
Really?
sons, and he has five sons that are all
They're
called
all
George.
George?
And he's called them George because he wants them all to be seen and respected equally. There's a
See,
quote
that's
about it
funny
as well.
because there's a player on the 76ers named Ricky Council the Fourth. Same situation. He has two other brothers named Ricky, and his father is Ricky Council the First. So they're all Ricky, and his a sister named Rihanna, and then Ricky. So
Yeah.
it's just
but yeah,
George, George,
that's a little
George, Ricky, Ricky, Ricky.
fun little fact about George Foreman there. Yeah, he's five kids, all called George, and he wants them to be seen as equals. That's why he's called him George. But anyway, back on the video, I don't think that's a new character because
Mm-mm.
we've already seen the credits, and there's some characters we haven't met. But I don't see it being anyone else other than Corey because it does
Yeah.
look like him. The hairline, as you said, Adam, as well, the boots as well, and the vibe, like the look is that. However,
Mm-hmm.
however, we
Mm.
really like Corey as a character before someone jumps on it. You were talking about him being very three dimensional and saying it's a
Yes.
very well written, rounded character.
He's a four-dimensional
And
character.
was it four dimensional? You said.
No, I'm just saying it right now. He's
Oh,
five-dimensional. I'm gonna keep adding dimensions until someone stops me.
oh, sorry, you give me a heart attack because I mentioned to Abby on like the other podcast we recorded. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I hope I didn't say it's that. And it's like now I'm seeing
That's it. He's
the heart.
eight-dimensional now. You've crossed the lines at this point.
So it looks like Corey, right?
Yeah.
It's being presented as Corey. And we talk about him being three dimensionally. It's like meeting Dave Madsen meets Frank Bowers in terms of his vibe, in
Mhm.
terms of his personality. Because I think at the end of the first tape, he sets up really well, where it's like everyone's like, oh, he's a douchebag, yet he's the first person to kind of like really attend to Kat and then pick her up, and it shows like a lot of care and love for it, and it adds that layered character to it. But
But
I don't. My theory is, and it's my main theory for this as well. I don't think that's Corey in the way you think it is. So
I was
my
gonna say
feeling is,
I didn't think it was Corey. I think it's Corey.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my theory is just like off of like early stuff and just kind of like basing on what we see in the game. I think it's a manifestation of the abyss in
Mm.
human form. So like we've seen shadows, and I don't still don't know if it's bugs or not, but we've seen shadows appear in the game. And I just have a weird feeling the way that that scene plays out as well. It feels like it's the manifestation of the abyss in like the abyss was going to be an evil form. And I think
Mm.
there's going to be a sequence in the game where obviously Corey is wearing a mask. It might be like, for example, when we go to Cat's Ranch and we go there for a moment, or it might be like a party style thing. Obviously, we've seen like, the Vortex Club parties and stuff in the first Life of a Strange game. I feel like it's going to be set up for something like that, but I don't think it's Corey. I think it's a manifestation of the abyss because one thing I noticed as well is that I know later in the game the girls confront Corey, and you see like during the abyss like
Yes.
markers appear of them in their eyes and stuff. But
Mm.
all the girls, barring Kat, are scared of Corey. Swann gets bullied by Corey. Nora is like, she'll be like, F you, Corey, but she doesn't say it to his face, and she's like a little bit like at the
Yeah.
distance. And then Autumn obviously has an incident with Corey at the beginning of the first tape where he throws the keys, and she's still like a bit tepid. Like no one stands up to Corey barring Cat.
Mm.
So for me, he comes across as like this boogeyman, Dementor style. Like, do you know if you're going to go in front of a Bogart in Harry Potter and it manifests in something, that's it. He'll be the evil
Where'd the
person in that.
teas go?
What's that?
Did you drink all the tea so there's no more tea in Harry Potter?
Bloody hell, let me talk. This is a theory, as it is. My feeling is that I think it's a manifestation. So it's like, what is it called? Are they called what's the Wendigos or something? I can't remember what they're called. Wendigos?
Wendigos, yeah.
Wendig. It's something like that. I think it's a manifestation too, because if they're getting chased through a forest, and we've seen all the things that happen in this game so far, all the spooky supernatural things. I don't see Michel or Jean-Luc writing a cliche character where it's like, oh, he's the big bad and he's actually a bad man. Like,
Yeah.
if they're a bad man, you see it with Jefferson. He is a bad man. He has no
Mm,
redeeming qualities about him. He is just bad. But then obviously you have like the red herring, which is like Dave Madsen, and he's like lingering. I don't think that is Corey in the way we think he is. I because even in the clip as well, you see like little shadows like around his aura and stuff like that. I think it's the Abyss doing something there, where it's like, I
mm.
don't know, maybe it wants retribution.
Yeah. No, it's I think the abyss, a lot of people have these theories that, oh, aliens are going to come out, oh, there's going to be creatures in there. But what if the abyss, because once again, I keep telling this all the time, Michel Coe uses the environment as a character every
Yeah.
time. Like, that is a style. The environment in of itself is a character. So that being said, because of Michel's style, uh
Mhm.
this abyss is a character. This abyss
Yeah.
will be more or less uh the manifestation of what it is. So Corey will more likely be a puppet for the character of the abyss. So, like you said, I don't think it's Corey. I think it's the abyss using Corey as a meat puppet, essentially.
Yeah. Because like I just like quickly looked at that clip as well, and I agree with what you're saying because like they're getting chased, and we've seen the first trailer that happened, which was the reveal trailer back in 2023. At the game was, oh god, I feel so old. Like back
Mhm.
in 2023, and it shows that sequence where they're running through the forest, the cabins on fire, etc. And in the clip, you hear Nora's voice, you hear Autumn's voice, and it's very like dark. And I think Cat is there. I think. But if Cat's not there, for example, then my theory feels like it's holding more weight in terms of it's like it's a manifestation. Because if it is this kind of like thing that appears because it scares
Mm.
them, it's taken that form. If not, Cat might still be there. It might still add credence. But yeah, what you were saying was spot on. And I think that's basically this kind of theory where I think like in the scheme of things, I just don't think it's Corey going Jack Nicholson shining style crazy and then attacking the girls. Because for
Yeah.
me, I'll
Well,
say it now
even
as well.
that's a good theory though, because in The Shining, was that
Mm,
really, him? Was that really Jack Nicholson? You know? I'm
I
forgetting
know.
the character's name for some reason.
Uh, oh, what's
Uh,
the oh
Johnny,
my
John?
god.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
something. I can't remember.
oh, what was he? No, he's
Yeah,
thinking oh my god, what's the one? I'm pulling this up now. I can't believe it, my mind is going so blank. The Shinning.
The
The
Shining.
Shining.
Yeah.
Jack Torrance.
Oh, Jack Torrance, okay. Uh, but yeah, when Jack Torrance, like, when he goes insane, like, is that really Jack, or is that the manifestation of what would be cabin fever, right?
Mm,
Uh, or like what The Shining is. So I think that is a good example of what it could be, that somebody went a little bit loony bin, essentially, and just went to town on other people. So, yeah, I would say that's a good example.
and who wrote The Shining as well?
That would be, Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick. Wait, no, it's not even
He directed
Stanley.
it. He
Yeah.
directed it.
Yeah,
Who
no,
wrote
he
the
wrote
book?
it. He wrote the book. Yeah. Kubrick.
I
Kubrick.
think you're missing no, I think you're missing someone else
No,
who wrote
Kubrick's
the
the
book.
king. Kubrick is
Well,
always the king.
I love the difference between Stephen King and, Kubrick on that because he did not like the
Yeah,
film
Stephen
because
King
it
hated
complete
that movie, dude. He hated it so
but
much.
but but also there's a reason why Kubrick went the way that he did because, like, if
Yeah.
you I've always said it with Stephen King, it's like, it's hit and miss, and it's like, with that as well, he did a TV show, and it's like, "Nah, you're not matching what
What was
Kubrick
the
has
TV
done
show
here."
he did?
You did a Shining TV show.
He did a Shining TV show? When?
Yeah,
When was
back
that?
back a
Oh,
long time ago.
mm,
Yeah,
'cause
because
that was
it was because obviously Kubrick does what he does. It's like he's
Yeah,
like, I don't like
Space
that. And he's like,
Odyssey that was also Kubrick, right? A Space
yeah,
Odyssey? Yeah, that was,
2001: Space Odyssey. Oh, masterpiece.
yeah, it's an acquired taste, though. It's definitely an acquired taste. Did he also do, Clockwork Orange, or was that another director?
Yes,
Yeah,
masterpiece. Stanley Kubrick is probably the greatest director of all time. His body
mm,
of work is incredible.
I wish I
It's
could
like
say it's a
incredible.
hot take. That's just kind of like, depends who you are kind of take, but
It'd be
I'm
him
go
or Hitchcock
yeah,
or
yeah,
Spielberg.
okay. Okay, I can see Steven Spielberg.
Early Steven Spielberg, not
Okay.
recent. I can't stand
Yeah, I was about
anything
to
he's
say,
done.
like, if we're talking greatest in terms of, like, his body of work, then it's no
Yeah,
longer Steven Spielberg. It
no,
still goes to Kubrick or Hitchcock, like you said.
Hitchcock.
Like,
Yeah,
it
Tho-
yeah.
those two for me are the main ones where it's like out of the body works where it's like because like Spielberg would have had a conversation for it had it not been the recent stuff that he's done because
Mhm.
obviously like for a guy who makes Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year it's incredible
Yes.
like it's so opposites but like the recent work hasn't done that but Kubrick and Hitchcock for what they did for the film industry is
Yeah.
incredible the influence and
I
as you
can see
said that
that.
when you like a Clockwork Orange and oh a Shining and oh even talk about AI for example because I know
Oh,
Spielberg finished it off for him because
yeah.
Kubrick dies during the process of that. Um, but no, like when we're mentioning The Shining though in this theory as well, Stephen King writes it, and Michelle
Yeah.
is Stephen King like fan, so it could
Yeah.
actually play into that. I one thing I would hope though out of that, if he does go quote unquote crazy, I wouldn't want him to die because of it, and they like attack him. I'd like him to return back to a normal state. I don't want
Mm,
him to be the cliche protocol villain of this like this game because I think he adds more to the value of it. Because I don't think he's that kind of character itself, being this really big bad evil guy, even
yeah.
if this game might not have it.
Now, will he be the same when he wakes up, or will he be
Mm.
voiced by Chris Pratt? Mm.
Well, it depends if there's another Mario film and if Philip Bart can get hold of him at that time.
What is this place? Alright, Chris Pratt. Alright.
It's always Chris Pratt, isn't it? It's like, oh my god
Yeah.
almighty.
Like that new movie that came out with Millie Bobby Brown on Netflix, State of Electricity or some dumb crap like that. But yeah, will he be the same or will he be voiced by Chris Pratt?
Well, if he wakes up and he's like, "It's me, Mario," I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the heck?" I'm like, my biggest nightmare has like woken up in take two. I'm like, "Fantastic!" Like, what's
Yeah.
happened here? Um, yeah, I hope he doesn't go down that route. But I think, like,
Mm-mm.
generally speaking, I think it's Corey. The context is hard to put into the scene because there's so many different layer options of it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to the ranch. We'll go to Kat's home because I think for me as well, where the game goes as well, because obviously Kat is homeschooled and Kat has her like experience of living at the house. I feel like you have to visit it because I think my projection is that we'll have like exposition with Dylan there. We'll have
Mm.
like an understanding, obviously, Kat's dad because Corey has like his own issues with that and everything else. So I think we're gonna go there. We might have some kind of like sequence there, which is like a party or like a barnyard sequence, or like it's a something else. Because the Wolf Mask's a little bit like when I played the game first time around, when we talked about it on the review and spoiler cast, I said to you, I was like, "There's this like wolf demonic creature." And I wonder
Mm.
what that is. And I was like, I thought it was like a beast or an animal. I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, actually, when I went back and watched
Yeah.
it, I was like, it's not. It's just a man wearing a mask, but it looks like Corey, and it is Corey in my opinion because of the hairline, everything else of it. But
Yeah.
how that plays out, I don't know. And I
Mhm.
feel like yeah, it's a weird one that I think it's the abyss though because there's
Yes.
just the way it's positioned and the way, and I think it might be like he might throw something in the abyss.
Mm. Yeah. He might throw the car keys into the abyss
Yeah,
or a copy
cookies.
of The Shining, the book.
You
Mm.
imagine, yeah, just for the shining bits as well.
I don't understand this garbage. Get out of here.
Oh god. Yeah, he might throw something to the abyss and then gets that power
Mm.
because they are
Yeah.
in the forest again. Because he might even end up depending on where that timeline of events is. He might end up going to the forest to find Cat,
Mhm.
and in itself as well, a wrong left turn ends up near the abyss, throws
Yeah.
something in there, and then this scene plays out the way that it does. He might set the cabin on fire because he's controlled by the abyss, or something's happened there.
Mm.
These are why the
Yeah.
dominoes. Yeah, there's a lot of theories there. So yeah, I think it's interesting to see how that all plays out. And obviously, thank you to Heaven Tide for that as well. And if you have any theories, leave them in the comments as well. We'll pick them up when we get left off. I think actually we might be close to it when the game comes out. We'll be really close to Tape 2 coming out as well by the time this
Yeah.
like, episode comes out. It's gonna be crazy. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And again, guys, this will be a shorter episode because of the schedules and stuff. So,
Mhm.
and there's not any news as well. Funnily enough, when we're recording, like literally almost nothing. Adam, should we go to our new segment as well, which was brought in recently, Rage Records?
Yes. Yeah.
Because this is an interesting comment, and I will pull it up on screen for everyone here. As we said before, if you are new here as well, please do leave the comments on like a recent video. We'll try and pull it out. Obviously, there's loads and they keep like backlogging, but if you do want something, let us know and we'll try and get to it. And obviously, after take two, please leave them as well, because God only knows where we go with the franchise and stuff. This one was from CZ Teddy 1507. As you can see, the comment hits here. And it says, second comment, I have a theory I would like to submit to court. See, Adam, that's how you present it. The hook
To
gets
the
me
Court of the Owls, correct.
to the court of the abyss. You will be decided here and settled. So the theory says that as well. I think it's possible that sometime towards the end of the summer, Nora will betray the girls, presumably by abandoning them out of fear for what they've all gotten themselves into, rather than intentional malice. She clearly loves her friends and wouldn't want to hurt them, or she'll go missing, just like so many others in the town have. There's a memory in the bar where Autumn is talking directly and tearfully to Swann about how the two of them need to get out this town and that she doesn't want to go alone, implying that neither Kat or Nora are in the picture for some reason. That combined with Nora's weird behavior in the present day makes me think that something much deeper is going on. Plus, how Autumn and Swann feel drawn to each other, despite Nora being Autumn's best friend. Survivor's guilt, perhaps. I know this is sad in 1990. Said in 1995 as well, but maybe there are some timey-wimey shenanigans at play for that means young Swann and Autumn feel preemptively how close they will soon become in a way that they don't feel with Kat and Nora. If Nora betrayed the girls, her behavior and fear in 2022 could stem from guilt. If she went missing, maybe present day Nora is an Abyss doppelganger, or
Mhm.
SMTH. Now, what is that for an abbreviation? Why do I feel like I've seen that?
Doppelganger or like an Agent Smith.
Major Smith. That's an abbreviation for something. I don't know what it is. Kind of stupid, but hey, I'm just spitballing. No, it's not stupid. These are theories. Nothing's ever wrong. The game is
Oh,
intentionally putting more. Hmm?
SMTH is a common internet abbreviation that stands for, you ready for this?
Yes.
Something. I swear to God, if this person is a Gen Z person, y'all need to learn how to spell. Something is SMTH. What do
That's
you
crazy.
can't spell out something? I'm barking. I'm sorry. But
You
like
buy.
your court is like the so far
Oh,
my judgment, I'm kicking into the abyss because he can't spell out something. Anyways, go for it
thank
from
you,
our
Adam.
lovely
Appreciate that.
commenter.
The game is intentionally putting so much more focus on Kat, and I think that would make some kind of twist with Nora land even harder. Plus, I think it'd be really cool to potentially see Nora's cowardice lead her to make a really bad, serious decision rather than it just being a silly character quirk. In the same way, Chloe can be toxic. It'd be interesting to see one of the girls who otherwise gets along great experience a typical teenage rift that spirals out of control due to the supernatural circumstances. End quote. Sorry, I was reading that. Like, it was just one of those where I was like, it's been a long day for me. But
Yeah.
thank you for the comment. Adam, it's in
Mm.
court.
Hmm.
Where
Or
do you stand on it?
SMTH or something. I don't know.
The dog is
Um,
bitten. This is what happens.
I
He
hate
says he
that.
doesn't
I
bite.
hate
He
that
says he,
so much, dude.
yeah, but
We're
even the
gonna
Gen
bring
Z heart, look, that is not a heart. Like, or
dumb,
like,
dude. Oh
I know.
god.
Come on,
Dude,
millennial. We're
the
1995 timeline here.
the
Like,
other day I was talking to I was at a store, and there was a 20-year-old, and we were talking about the hardcore, like post-hardcore music, and he goes like, "Yeah, it was so much better back in the day." And he was referring to 2005. I was like, "Stop, dude.
no, we're not into
2005?"
that. We're not
Yeah.
playing that game yet.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't make me feel great. Um, yeah, no, I think there is some backing to that for sure. I think it seems like this commenter is really suspicious of Nora. And I do
Mhm,
think that if anything were to fall apart, I think what it would be at Nora's hand. And like what he said, like there's something weird going on with Nora. She seems to be like, hey, let's not talk about this because maybe she like feels like what this commenter says, it feels that survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Knowing that like maybe she's the one, like Nora's the one who kind of I want to say caused Kat's death, right? But maybe like started the gears to the machine of that death, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's an
Mhm.
interesting theory because like there's a lot going on in there. And Nora is kind of like, I don't know, Nora does strike you as that when you're playing the game, you're thinking like, why are you acting like the way you are? Because like in itself,
Mhm.
like when you're kind of dealing with with Swann and Autumn
Mhm.
early in that in the adult sequences, they're finally like like, okay, we shouldn't have reunited, but we are reuniting. And when Nora
Yeah.
comes in, she's a bit like she's really
Yeah.
like kind of like we should
Yeah,
never have done this. Like
because Swan and Autumn are just kind of like hesitant to talk about it. They're just kind of
yeah,
do we really want to go back to this? Like, we could be playing Pac-Man right now or Mortal Kombat. Like, why are we talking about this? Um, back in the day,
back
but
in the day,
whereas Nora is different, where
yeah.
Nora is like constantly trying to change the subject, essentially. Like that's mostly what her attitude sounds like. It's just you're changing the subject here. But the other two are just kind of like I don't know if I want to revisit that. Almost like a therapy session. Kind of I don't want to visit that, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you because it's like it does feel like that. My only thing with the theory is,
Mm.
and why I just don't see parts of it
Is
happen,
it the
is the part where it
abbreviation of
says
something?
you're never gonna let that
Never
the
letting it go.
commenter
It's so dumb.
the commenter says to disappear and never come back. It's gonna be like not the Milky Bar situation where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna be on Spotify
Now the
service and
Milky
never
Bar
sing
is
you
still in the
again.
comment section, like still has the gall to comment when I'm still here. So Milky Bar, why are you still here?
Uh, um, so my only thing that it doesn't like I like the fact of survivor's guilt and the remorse because like they do get close together in the game. Like young
Mm,
Kat and young Nora are very close, and
mm,
that adds so much credence to the fact that maybe Nora is hiding something else. Like we might get a bit more exposition on Nora revealing something else. Like her own life is very different. Like the Chloe Price comparison is always very fitting as well because she is very Chloe Price esque in terms of relationship dynamics, etc. My only thing that I just don't agree with is that that she will betray the girls because there was an interview either last year or this year when we were doing the coverage of it. Michelle specifically was asked about the dialogue choices and especially how Swan interacts with the other girls. And they were like, "Is there any like negative choices?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "There's no like negative dialogue that fractures like during the friendship and stuff." And he like explained it because he's like, "We're working a dynamic of the story's parameter where it's like the girls will be connected always like, in the sense of how it's going to play, but
mm,
it might be you have an affectionate towards one person, and it might just be like, oh, you're like close friends with the other person." And it feels like the game isn't setting up for a girl to betray the other girl or something along those dynamics because the other part of that theory, which I which doesn't align with what I'm thinking, is the sense that it's like the game is focusing on Cat, yes, but
yeah.
only from story point, because this is a coming of age story. This is no different from Michelle's past games, and the story is always focused on Swann Holloway because Swann Holloway is. He even said it's like this is the true coming of age story I've never told before, and it's like that's the difference. That's why the fifth member theory doesn't work for me because I'm like it has to rely on the Swan is the main character. Even if
Mhm,
things are going on between it, it always comes back to Swan. Life is Strange 1, Rachel Amber disappears, it comes back to Max because the story is about Max Caulfield. It's always going to be about Max Caulfield, and it'll be obviously about Chloe in the sense and other characters, but it's about her. That for me just doesn't add up for where it's at. It's an interesting theory, it's a good theory as well, and things are happening. I just don't see it ending in full betrayal in some kind of way, shape, or form.
mm,
That's my only thing. I just don't see her becoming like this. Because, like in itself, here's the other thing: if you're romancing Nora and you're being friendly with her, what happens when she betrays you? Then there's
mhm.
going to even be more of a like kick in the teeth kind of situation. And the game is setting up for basically a dynamic where you can romance or be with any girl. So I'm kind of like, I like the theory. I think there's just one or two things where I'm like, I just don't see it playing out that way.
Right.
In another game, it could easily work. A lot of these theories, pretty much all theories could work, but it's
Mhm,
in this game, I just don't see it working because if anything, the only thing that I'd like to take from that theory is the survivor's guilt. I think that would be a very interesting story to play out, and especially where it keeps, like, obviously Nora very, like, tight knitted. Because I think, like, when the game ends, the first tape, we get the revelation that the girls realize that happened to Kat, and it's like, and you start seeing the moods and personality change, and I think
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting to see from adult Nora because she'll be like, oh, actually, I'm like,
yeah.
I felt like I was so close to her, and she was doing this. Um, yeah, it's an interesting theory. I'm I'm gonna say I'm not. You won't right. Custodial sentences has been suspended. You are free to walk. That's my
Yes.
verdict. And I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to land it on a 5 because I think it's a very respectful theory and a very good theory. Could it still
Mm.
happen? Of course, I could have absolute egg on my face. It could happen, but I think just where the game is going and direction, I think the fact that Nora betrays the girls, and if it's just a small betrayal in the past, then maybe. But I think because of how the dynamics work, I don't see it. So you are going to walk from here. I'm going to suspend the custodial sentence, the abyss, even though Adam's got a big issue with something. It's fine.
I do have
First
an issue
warning.
with something, yes.
But first warning, I think the jury verdict is okay for now. It's split decision. So you've been saying, but mine's about 5 out of 10. I'm going to give it.
I'm giving it about 5, maybe a 6. I do think that, like, Nora might be the one to start the gears, but to say that Nora will betray them, I think that's where it loses me. And here's another thing on Michelle Coe's statement. Uh, the girls will always be connected, but there are some friendships that you forgive each other, even though you're the ones that betrayed. So that theory could still be true while also
Yeah.
keeping them connected. Um, I'll give it a 6. I'll definitely give it a 6.
You know
And
what? You know what,
yeah,
Teddy? I'll give you a 6 as well because
yeah,
Adam has taken a couple of shots at you for the something thing. So
yeah.
we'll bump it up to a 6, but you are free to walk. You can walk with lucky funds and you can leave the courtroom. So you have not been sentenced to the abyss.
Mm.
And I think we can end on this note, if anything, because I think that's probably the best place to end. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, guys, we will be back in April. The second tape's coming out. It's going to be big. It's going to be exciting. So stay tuned with us. We're obviously going to cover it, spoiler cast, review, all that stuff. And then we'll carry this segment over because I imagine it's a Michelle Coe game. Like something's going to happen
Yes.
afterwards. So if you got any theories about the future of the series and etc., do leave them in the comments. We'll pick them up. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know about Corey, what you think about that, or the masked man. Let's call him the masked man, if anything, or the wolf
Mm.
man, whatever it is. Let us know. It might even not be a man.
Mm.
Just like,
Mm.
I might be assuming him projecting. Um, let us know about the masked individual. Let us know your thoughts about this theory, or even leave your own theories in the comments as well. We'll pick it up as well, and make sure you give a good first sentence hook because that one was picked because it had a great sentence hook as well of being submitted to the court. And but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you are new here, one more time as well, please do subscribe, turn notifications, like this video. If you don't like the video, you should still like this video. Judge Riaz will throw you into the abyss along with a copy of The Shining. That's what's going to happen, and you're going
Sure,
to end
sure.
up in a Stephen King inspired book. So like this video. And also as well, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcast. Go and check us out. Go and rate us. We have 92 followers on Spotify. We have 25 ratings, 5 stars. So thank you so much for that, guys. You help boost our visibility, and obviously more and more people are coming towards this game. So please do rate it as well, and it helps them find us because we cover the game. We're not the it's woke and oh no, it's DEI. We're actually people who like games and enjoy what we get shown. So yeah, please
Yes.
do support us at that. So again, guys, bear with us. We will hopefully be back on schedule in April. Adam will be moved and he will hopefully be in a house and
Hmm.
he will still be in the United States of America to his own detriment, but he will
No,
be
I'll
in
be in
America.
Warsaw. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
be
imagine
I'll
that.
yeah.
Actually,
Yes.
maybe you should consider that. The time zone difference would be pretty nice for me.
Are you guys in the same time? Well, I mean, it will be an hour. What's the
It'd
time
be
zone
like
in, yeah,
might be
what
like two or
time is
three hours.
yeah, what
I'm gonna say it's about
time
3 hours, if anything.
in Warsaw, Poland?
He's doing the
What
investigation.
time is it for you right now?
We are on BST.
Okay, well, what time is it?
All right. That sums up my day so far. It is 6:29.
You guys are only an hour apart, so they're an hour
So
ahead.
okay,
Yeah.
so move then. It'll make both of our lives easier. Like this is gonna be fantastic. You'll be
That's true,
broadcasting
and
from Poland.
I'm not really liking my country right now anyway, so,
Exactly.
you know,
See, there's even
yeah.
more benefits there. It could be
Although, I will say I'd rather be here than in my home country of Hungary, so, um, could be worse.
wait, are you Hungarian?
Yes, I'm Hungary. Have we not discussed this? Yeah, my family's from Hungary.
No, we haven't.
Buda Yeah, from Budapest. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, but it's like when Abby was saying to me, she was like, when she was like, "Why is he a youth pastor?" Like, I thought he was like, and I'm like, yeah, I've always wondered that, but I didn't want to ask him because I feel like he might get offended. Like, if I go and
No,
see,
I'm just a Hungarian barbarian. And, like I said, it could be worse. If you know any politics in Hungary, it could be worse. It could be
that is
worse.
true. Yeah, that
Yes.
is true, actually. So I think we'll wrap up here. It's gone on for much longer as it is. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with the Lost Records channel. Obviously, very exciting time ahead because when this tape comes out, when this episode comes out, tape 2's around the corner. So looking very much forward to it. Take care. See you later. Bye.